Welcome back to the studio, everyone. Get ready because today we are diving into a high energy, deeply analytical masterclass explainer. We are putting on the examiner's lens and focusing squarely on a topic that honestly trips up even the most prepared students. We are dissecting the purpose and limitations of the trial balance, specifically tailored for the rigorous Cambridge AS and A-level accounting 9706 syllabus. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a trial balance, right? Debits equal credits, job done. Well, actually, scratch that. That mindset is exactly why top-tier candidates drop letter grades. Today, we're not just looking at definitions. We are going to break down exactly how to secure those elusive top-tier marks, how to completely master your time allocation, and how to deploy the kind of critical thinking strategies that Cambridge examiners are literally begging to see on your paper. We're aiming for absolute structural precision today. Okay, let's jump right into this with a direct high-stakes hook pulled straight from a recent Principal Examiner report. Look at this quote. Most students lose easy marks on purpose and limitations of trial balance, but after this explainer, you won't be one of them. That is a massive claim, right? But it highlights the reality of the situation. It's not always about knowing the hardest, most convoluted formulas. Honestly, the biggest drop in grades usually comes from failing to properly structure your answers around these foundational theories, especially when you get hit with a complex, high-tariff question. You know, the ones worth anywhere from 9 to 15 marks. To conquer these, we need to talk about the anatomy of command words. There is a world of difference between being asked to analyze versus evaluate, or explain versus to what extent. If a prompt asks you to analyze a trial balance, you're breaking down its components. You're showing how the debits and credits interact. But if it says evaluate, oh, that's a whole different ballgame. Evaluation means you have to weigh its usefulness, acknowledge its flaws, and make a definitive judgment based on the evidence. And when they ask to what extent, that's a trap. They are looking for the hidden constraints. They want you to argue that a perfectly balanced ledger only proves mathematical accuracy, to a certain extent, while entirely missing hidden qualitative errors. We are going to lock down these distinctions so you never misread a prompt again. Here is our roadmap for today's session. Number 1, core assessment objectives. Number 2, the procedural framework. Number 3, mastering critical analysis. And number 4, top examiner warnings.
Section 1, core assessment objectives. Let's see how this builds our understanding.
Now, what's really fascinating here is how the assessment framework is completely broken down into 3 distinct cognitive domains. I want you to imagine 2 top-tier scholars we were coaching recently in our digital study suite. Let's call them Alex and Sam. Now, Alex is highly technical. Alex excels at formulas, wrote facts, and absolutely dominates assessment objective 1, which is knowledge and understanding. Alex knows perfectly well that a trial balance fundamentally checks the arithmetical accuracy of ledgers. But then we have Sam. Sam is a creative thinker, amazing at building arguments, but sometimes struggles with structural precision. Sam lives in assessment objective 3, evaluation. Sam is the one arguing whether a perfectly balanced trial balance actually guarantees the financials are free from fraud. To get full marks on a 15-mark essay, you cannot just be an Alex and you cannot just be a Sam. You have to bridge them with assessment objective 2, analysis. You have to analyze why the trial balance didn't balance and logically connect the technical facts to the broader evaluation. Cambridge examiners don't just want superficial breadth, they want analytical depth. They want to see you seamlessly move from knowing the rule to analyzing its application in the scenario to evaluating its ultimate reliability. Moving right along to Section 2, the procedural framework. So let's go back to Alex and Sam. When we gave them a complex trial balance deconstruction problem, it sparked a massive debate. Alex pushed for a purely factual approach. Just list the numbers, balance the accounts, boom, done. But Sam argued for a broader conceptual perspective, wanting to write paragraphs about accounting theory before even touching the calculator. They were both missing the mark because they lacked a procedural framework. This right here is your method mark strategy. Step 1, deconstruct the question and extract data. You go into the stimulus and isolate exactly which ledger balances are given. Step 2, select your analytical framework and execute with clear notation. This is where you methodically determine debits versus credits without skipping steps. And Step 3, verify results and present with correct terminology. If you verify the totals and they don't match, you don't panic. You've just logically identified the requirement for a suspense account. Following this standardized sequence, extract, execute, verify, ensures you capture every single process mark available. I told Alex and Sam if you challenge each other to stick to this framework, you'll never lose those easy marks again. This brings us to data interpretation. You have to extract the raw data, interpret the hidden relationships, and conclude with evidence. Now, as Alex and Sam drafted their responses paragraph by paragraph on screen, they hit a massive roadblock right here. They got completely stuck on how to link their paragraphs together without running out of time. Now, right before I step in and show you the exact cognitive strategy we use to get them unstuck and solve this problem, I need to pause our session for just a second. If you are serious about crushing your Cambridge exams and you're getting value out of this deep dive, please hit that subscribe button for AC Exams IGCSE O&A levels at the handle @ACExam_IGCSE. Enable all notifications right now. Yeah, click that little bell icon you see popping up so you never, ever miss our weekly Cambridge breakthrough strategies. All right, let's get back to the board and break through this roadblock. Section 3, Mastering Critical Analysis. This is where the magic happens.
Okay, so Alex and Sam were stuck writing a mid-level basic descriptive answer. They had written, an error occurred, so the trial balance is wrong. I used a picture-in-picture feature on our board to pause their work and step in. I told them, guys, this is a mediocre answer. Let's rewrite this flawed section out loud right now. Look at the contrast here. On the left is their basic analysis, just identifying a fact. But to unlock those top-tier marking bands, we need the right side, higher-order evaluation. This demands evaluating alternatives and using comparative connectives. We rewrote their paragraph to say, an error of commission occurred. However, because this error involves posting to the correct side of the wrong account, the trial balance will still mathematically balance. Consequently, this misstatement artificially inflates gross profit, which ultimately misleads stakeholders relying on these final accounts. Boom. Do you see the difference there? We used however and consequently to build a logical chain. We transitioned from a basic recall of facts into a flawless, full-mark response that justifies the exact impact on the business. That is how you execute critical analysis.
All right, it is time for an interactive workshop segment. I want you to sit up and treat this like a real exam scenario. Imagine a 60-second visual countdown timer has just appeared on the screen. We're defining evidence evaluation. It's the process of identifying limitations, assumptions made, alternative interpretations, and their direct effect on overall conclusions. In your 60 seconds, you need to look at a perfectly balanced trial balance and identify the invisible limitations. Why is it dangerous to assume the accounts are perfect? Well, because of the hidden traps, errors of omission, commission, principal, compensating errors, original entry, and complete reversal. In a high-level exam answer, you don't just list these 6 things. You evaluate them. You say a limitation of this trial balance is that an error of principle, like entering a capital expenditure as a revenue expenditure, will completely bypass the mathematical check. This assumption of accuracy is dangerous because it directly affects the valuation of non-current assets on the statement of financial position. That is evidence evaluation in action. Section 4, Top Examiner Warnings. Let's look at the classic traps. Welcome to Scene 2 of our workshop, Spot the Flaw. I'm going to present a poorly written student answer based on these top 3 examiner warnings. Imagine a student writes, the trial balance failed because the suspense account was open and the layout was sloppy, which is bad for all businesses. Can you spot the 3 errors based on the list we have here? First, mistake 1, confusing cause and effect. The suspense account being open didn't cause the trial balance to fail. The failure to balance caused the need for a suspense account. Second, mistake 2, forgetting format. The student vaguely mentioned sloppy layout, but practical application requires you to strictly follow correct ledger formats, clearly distinguishing debit and credit columns. And third, mistake 3, providing generic answers. Saying it's bad for all businesses is totally contextless. Examiners literally cringe when they read that. You have to systematically avoid these exact traps. Which brings us to an absolute flashing red examiner alert. Always link every point to the given scenario context. Listen to me carefully here. Context is king. Your brilliant theoretical knowledge is absolutely useless if it doesn't bend to the specific data provided in the stimulus materials. If the exam gives you a scenario about a struggling manufacturing business with outdated machinery, your answer cannot just be a generic textbook definition of depreciation errors. You must specifically state how an error of principle in recording machinery repairs as an asset falsely inflates the specific manufacturing business's profitability, hiding its true struggles from its investors. You have to weave the scenario's DNA into every single paragraph. We are at the finish line, scholars. After that rigorous session, Alex and Sam both had massive breakthroughs. Alex realized that formulas mean nothing without context, and Sam finally understood that arguments need a procedural framework. So let's synthesize this entire masterclass into 3 core, memorable pillars you can take into your exam. Pillar 1, the 3-step question scan. Always deconstruct the command word first. Pillar 2, the paragraph balance formula. Always use comparative connectives to link AO1 facts to AO3 valuations. And Pillars 3, the last 5 minutes review checklist. Always double-check that your answers specifically reference the scenario's context. Now for your homework, try this memory hack. Create your own mnemonic for the 6 errors that don't affect the trial balance. Building your own cognitive triggers is a proven strategy. Crushing Cambridge exams requires consistent, relentless strategy. You cannot do this alone. So before you click away, explicitly hit that subscribe button for Ace the Exam's IGCSE O and A levels at @acetheexam_IGCSE. Turn on the notification bell right now for future exam hacks. And I want you to drop a comment below declaring your target grade. Claim it. I'm going to leave you with one final provocative thought to chew on. If your trial balance perfectly balances down to the very last cent, are your business financials actually safe, or are you just totally blind to the catastrophic errors hiding beneath the math? Keep evaluating, keep analyzing, and I will see you in the next explainer.